Blessings. How are you? I hope this video finds you in a space where you are at peace, ease, grace, love, and light as the oneness from within and without. So today in this video we're going to focus more and more on being the highest aligned state of beingness, of grace, ease, peace, love, and light, where we are in a space of living life from a place of surrender to our higher intelligence, our higher self, or the discerning intelligence of our soul, and with the knowing that everything we choose to experience in this life is aligned and for our highest good. So, surrender and alignment, divine knowing through the discerning intelligence. So we're going to learn about having the discerning intelligence. So we're going to focus on having the discerning intelligence and the mechanism behind the flow of the discerning intelligence. And how can we pay more attention? So we will start with a little bit of exercise here, focusing on nurturing our intuitive guidance in our everyday practical lives. And then towards the end of the video, we will also focus on a practical method and an exercise to have the conscious practice of letting the energy flow within our energy systems. And so before we get into the exercise, the discerning intelligence that I speak of is also known as the instinct or the intuition that is of the higher mind. So what if I told you that every moment that we choose to live our life is in alignment for the greater picture? Because every moment is what matters towards arriving to a space of integrated living in the flow and at peace. Because our subconscious and our conscious mind, when they work in tandem together with the wholeness of our being, we feel at peace. Irrespective of how it may look to the external world, the choices that we make, we know it is in alignment for our highest good. And that is the kind of state of beingness that nothing in this world can buy or afford or can be replaced. So the little nuances makes it for the higher, bigger picture, like a jigsaw puzzle. So what if we nail every piece of the puzzle? We will notice that in collecting the right puzzle piece down the line, we are arriving at the grandest picture of our destiny, our soul destiny. And it always starts with our own practical everyday living. So, in this exercise, I will bring forth a sweet lime and an apple. So, now what if I tell you that you have 10 seconds to make a choice? If I offer you an apple or a sweet lime, which one do you choose? So while you contemplate upon it for the 10 seconds, fun fact, in Hindi, this sweet lime is called as Mosambi. Mosambi, derived from the country Mozambique, because it is where the first sweet lime was ever imported to India from Mozambique. So it's called as Mosambi in Hindi. And so now, have you made the decision? Well, I entertained you with the trivia. So, is the Mosambi going, pick me, pick me, pick me? Or is the apple going, eat me, eat me, eat me? Well, here's the thing. If you have chosen apple instead of the sweet lime, was that your first response, or was that an afterthought? Now, if the Mosambi had gone pick me, pick me, pick me first, within the first, well, we can call it, excuse me, there was some noise outside. So if the Mosambi was your first mind, let's call it the first mind, or the first intuitive hit, or the first gut feeling, I should go for this, but then the apple came as an afterthought, because the apple seemed more like a practical choice given the information that you already have in your mind. Say, for example, the apple will help you burn more calories because you've already received the external knowledge that the amount of calories that it burns while digesting the apple would give you the required vitamins while at the same time burn some calories. So that was the information that you deducted based on the external information, and the Mosambi, in spite of it going pick me, pick me, pick me, you decided to go for this one. Here's the thing. You should go for the Mosambi if this was your first mind. While both in this instance are beneficial for the body, nevertheless, the Mosambi is what your inner compass guided you to pick, because at this point of time, in this now moment, the vitamin C was the requirement of your body. The cells of your body required the boost of vitamin C, the shot of vitamin C in this now moment. Perhaps for healing of the cells, perhaps for recovery from your day, Or perhaps your body was lacking in vitamin C. So this was what is the divine guidance, because the higher self always seeks to guide us for our physical body, mental body, emotional body, all our multi-body systems, our energy centers, for our highest good. So this is the kind of everyday practical, every moment we are given a choice to make the highest aligned focus, attention, inspired action to take that brings us forth. Still focusing on this example, perhaps the vitamin C shot, when you take it, would allow your body to heal, and in the bigger picture, say for example, would prevent a certain disease or a certain aspect, a certain manifestation that is not in alignment for your highest good. So let's say now I will bring a mango here. It's a very sweet one, and it has more sugar, let's say, than the sweet lime and the apple. While all of these fruits are much beneficial, more beneficial than any other processed food, but even within this, you will have to make a choice of what is in alignment for your highest good at this moment. So perhaps your body needs that extra dose of the vitamins along with the fructose to support your energy level. So now, if I offer you this, which one would you choose? And you can have all three of it, but you will have to make a decision in the order of what you would consume first. Always, even in this case, go for the first mind. So in this case, it's the one with the fructose, because your body right now requires the energy boost, then to heal. And as you consume this, you need the apple to help you in maintaining a balanced state of calories. So this is an example. This is just a practical example. In our everyday lives, everything that feels right, when we are faced with decisions, when we're faced with choices, to even plan for the day ahead, to even stay in this moment where our attention be focused, we have to come to center and feel. We have to drop down from our mental body down to our feeling body, because the feeling body is what powers, the intensity of the feeling body is what powers, brings forth our intuitive guidance, discerning intelligence, and the whole system, our multi-body system at work. The feeling body is the voice. What has happened now in our world, the mental body, which we will focus upon as the masculine principle, is the driving force, and the feminine principle, which is the divine feeling, the divine intuitive knowing, has taken a backseat. So what happens is that it is not in alignment. The feeling body, when we pay attention to it, it is always generating the right feeling. And the right feeling, when we pay attention, when we focus upon it, the mind will then bring in the right inspired action, the masculine action principle of doing, of taking the action. So when it works in a cosmic divine clay, in balance, then there is this interplay between the feminine and the masculine. And that is when we are in alignment. However, if it is the mind that is over the top, that has a lot of noise, that has a lot of external information that seeks to be the driving force of our way of living, sometimes what we manifest is not in alignment for our highest good. What we choose to decide is not in alignment for the highest good, for our each own highest good. Because what information that we receive from the external world may not be for one's individual path. We can be open to receive external information, but we have to allow the discerning intelligence through the feeling to discern, to know, to feel if this is right, if this is in alignment for us. So what happens is that in every moment, there's always that small inner voice that seeks for us to hear. So we can hear through the art of mindfulness, of dropping down into the state of beingness, dropping down into our heart center, our feeling body, and then pay attention to it. We can start with practical examples in our everyday life, every now moment. And the best way to discern is, if I have to make this choice, does this feel right? Does this constrict? Or does this feel open? Even if the choice, say, the choice of this seems more open, and there's a constriction in this when we feel it, but the mind, with all its information, is bringing in that this is the right decision, we will always feel the constriction within it. So the constriction, when there's constriction, there's darkness, meaning there's confusion. Where there is that immediate knowing, there is a clarity, meaning where there is clarity, there is that light. It is bright. There is no darkness, there is no shadows. We go for that, even if the external mind, the lower ego, may seem to sound louder. And so dropping down into our feeling body in every moment, having the presence of going within and stepping forth with divine strength and courage. We're talking about just apples and oranges and fruits right now, but in the context of making certain life-changing moments, when we already have the practice of paying attention, of listening, it comes much more at flow. When we've already, it's building a muscle. So when we already have the practice of building that muscle of listening, then when we are faced with heavy certain challenges, life-changing decisions and moments in life, we are able to make decisions with confidence, irrespective of what the external mind or the outer world may suggest as a possible failure or a possible outcome that does not seem to be in alignment. If we have already have the practice of listening to our gut instinct, our intuitive guidance, our inner voice, the inner compass, which is the higher voice, the inner voice, the quiet voice of the higher self, we will already have the courage and the strength through the practice of having this skill of listening. If you are someone that prays, we pray asking for inner guidance. And so how does one receive the answer, the divine answer? If one is not listening, if one has not activated or built the muscle of listening, even if we keep praying, we will feel like, why are my prayers not being answered? We tend to always bring forth, project it into the external reality. When we pray, it is us asking, and to receive, it is the feeling body, the divine feminine. The divine feminine is the acting principle of receiving, meaning it stays in that state of openness to receive. The praying, the action that we brought forth, is the masculine principle. We acted upon the asking, the seeking. And now we allow ourselves to be in the receptive state of the divine feminine to receive. And to receive, we have to listen. Listen to the feeling and the intuitive guidance. And so in listening, we are allowing ourselves to be in divine flow of our activated path through inspired actions that has been fueled by the right feeling. So there is a small, short, quick method to allow yourself to bring forth this alignment, to balance it. If we look at the balancing scale, let's say we have a balancing scale we are juggling between one aspect and one aspect. Now, this we will bring forth into a figure eight, meaning this is, let's say, the mental body where we will focus on the crown chakra. This is the center point, and this is the feeling body. Mental body, feeling body, which we will focus as the heart center. We are aware that the throat center is the alignment of our true expression of our beingness. What we speak and what we choose to express, how we choose to express, is within the throat center. this to be the right expression, which then brings in the right state of alignment, state of beingness, and right manifestation, this too, the mental, the crown energy, and the heart energy, the feeling body, has to be in alignment. Because the energy flow if we look at the figure 8, this is at the intersection. And this, when it is in the right balance, we are ascending in our divine expression, in our divine beingness. And so, for this exercise, we will focus in our state of contemplation, in our state of meditation, or during our breathing exercise. We will focus on breathing in through the crown center, allowing the energy to come forth and pass through the throat center and holding it in. So inhaling, holding, and then exhaling it into our heart center. And then as we exhale, we continue to inhale through the heart center, holding it in, and then breathing it out through our crown center. Meaning, if we look at the breathing in, let's say we are breathing in, holding at the energy center of the throat, and then breathing out. Breathing in, holding out, and then breathing out. Thereby, we are allowing the energy to be in balance. And what happens is that there comes a point, because we are bringing forth our conscious awareness in balancing the energies, and therefore the subconscious has no option but to come into line, where it embeds, where all old memories or cellular memories or awareness of a disbalanced flow of energy gets, let's say, eradicated. We are training the muscles of our subconscious and our conscious and our energy centers and our multi-body systems, which includes the physical body, because we are incorporating the breath of life into our lungs, and the mental body and the feeling body. So we are incorporating all of our multi-body systems, all of our centers, our awareness into conscious practice, developing that muscle, building new cellular memories to bring ourselves into a state of alignment, into a state of flow. And so if we focus on this exercise daily, well, just even for a few minutes, and then of course making that time to focus even in our everyday life, sooner we will notice that we are feeling more at peace, because with the peace comes grace, ease, and divine harmony. Now, with cosmic divine balance, harmony, peace, ease, and flow, what happens is that our other energy centers gets more activated to a flow. Meaning, the third eye energy center, the clear knowing, clear seeing, the all-seeing gets activated, because now there's this divine flow of energy that is happening through your allowance of the feeling body and the mental body to be in a cosmic divine balance, a cosmic dance. What happens through this flow and this peace, this is the intermediate step, is the third eye energy center. The third eye energy center now begins to flow through the throat center, where the clear knowing and the intuitive knowing, your divine intuition, becomes heightened, becomes more activated. And when this gets activated and it flows through this, energy always seeks to flow in and out, it seeks to always be in a constant state of flow. So what happens? The higher heart, now, did you know that we have a higher heart energy center that is right between the throat and the heart center? The higher heart that is of cosmic divine feeling. The higher heart, which is the feeling of the higher self, that gets activated through the activation of the balance. The activation of the third eye that is in balance, in cosmic divine unity. It comes in and then now it activates, or more say, it synchronizes with the third eye, with the clear knowing, the intuition. And so now we have another figure eight. The infinity symbol, the never-ending loop of the energy flow. So now we have activated to a higher degree of our divine expression, meaning from the right expression, we have now activated divine expression. So now this continues to ascend, meaning your soul frequency continues to ascend in through your practical state of beingness, in through your physical state of beingness that is in balance with the mental body, the physical, the emotional feeling body, and your conscious awareness, the subconscious, including the cellular memories that is now being retrained. We all know that if your physical body, if the state of your cells has been, let's say, has been in a state of extra calories, what we consider as obese, if that particular cell has a longer memory or of being in that obese state, it is easier to gain the fats more quickly because the cells have the memories that are more fresh, that are more embedded. So what happens with exercise, even with physical exercises, is we are training the cells to remember a state of being more fit. So the longer we pay the attention of focusing on, for example, building our muscles or building an exercise regime, the longer the cellular memory has than the obese memory, it is easier for the cells not to go back to the other alternate state of reality. So similarly, through our constant practice of everyday living, of everyday choices, and our training of our multi-body system to work in constant divine harmony, we allow magic to happen. Because the infinity symbol is, we know, the symbol of the magician. So we're talking about bringing the magician out in us, in having a fulfilled life, in bringing a state of beingness where inspired actions through the right feeling is an embodied way of living, where in this state we allow ourselves to be in surrender, where the lower ego now learns to quieten down, to be more relaxed, which even lowers the cortisol hormones in our body, because it's not in a constant state of, okay, how do I protect myself? How do I bring in more information? How am I doing the right thing? No, when we are in the state of flow, even the dangerous chemicals are not released from our cells, and therefore our physical body is also disease-free, because we are at ease. And everything then, life brings forth manifestations of path, aligned path that takes up higher and higher, because every soul we come in seeking to express higher and higher, to experience higher and higher frequencies of state of beingness. So we have to meet halfway from our conscious awareness to allow the higher discerning intelligence of the soul to guide us, whereby we work with the unseen and the seen, being the driver of our path, yet taking the navigation guidance through the higher discerning intelligence. It's like driving with the GPS on, where the voice guides us. Take left, take right, make a turn. 500 meters ahead, take a right turn. Yet, if we're chit-chatting with our fellow passenger, with the external world, we won't be able to hear this navigation guidance. So, I will leave this for now. And I wish you the very best of living from a space of inspired action, guided from the right feeling of your beingness. Peace and blessings. Namaste. And I thank you for all the love and support upon this channel. I'm ever so grateful. Until next time, bye.